Okay, here's the video for example number 2, which is also lesson 6.3. All right. Okay, looks like I misspelled it again. Lesson 6.3 again. But this is, in this example, we'll be solving a logarithmic inequality with logarithms on both sides, same base. So here's an example here. All right, there is a rule that we'll use, which I'll expand on. If the base is bigger than 1, and it's 3, then the log base b of x is greater than the log of base b of y, if and only if x is greater than y. And also, the log base b of x is less than the log base b of y if and only if x is less than y. In other words, our x, the argument of the left side log, needs to be bigger than the argument of the right side, and vice versa for less than. In our case, we're looking at the second case here. So this applies to this problem. That's the one that applies to this problem. So that's the one we'll use. Okay. So let's move that out of the way and I'll get rid of this line here. All right. So what does that mean? That means that if this is true, if I clone this, bring this down, and I need to hide this right there. This is true, then you can drop, the only way that's true, if this is true. So you essentially end up just dropping the logs. That's what that says. Okay, so that's this is a simple algebra. Let's go ahead and solve this. We can solve this by subtracting, let's see, yeah, let's go ahead and subtract x from both sides. And let's go ahead and also, let's add 4 to both sides. Sorry, I didn't want to use that. Yeah, this. Okay. So let's do that. Okay, some people call this a double transform. So I'm going to subtract an x from both sides, and I'm going to add 4 to both sides. When I do that, I'm going to get, I should get a 2x on one side, and then I should just end up with 5 on the other side. That's what I end up with. Right, so divide both sides by 2. Remember, I did say both sides. So what you do on one side, you must do on the other. Get this. Of course, the 2's cancel out, and you are just left with x greater than 5/2. So we must remember that the argument of a log must be positive. So in our case, that means that this 3x plus 4, that 3x plus 4, so 3x plus 4 must be positive or greater than 0. And also, x plus 1 must be positive. Okay? So, this tells us that if we subtract 4 from both sides here, And I'll clone that. And here we'll be adding, well, I'll do that second. Do that first. That's going to give us, that's going to get rid of the 4. It's going to give us this. Give us a -4 here. And you see that error I made there? That should be minus. It should be plus. All right. All right. So that gives us this. And so we divide both sides by 3. And I'll just do it this way. By 3. That tells me that x must be greater. X must be greater than 4/3. Okay. And here, this is pretty simple. All we're just going to do is just subtract 1 from both sides. And this tells me that x must be greater than -1. So this is interesting. So look at this. X is equal to 5/2. X is not equal, sorry. X is either it's less than 5/2, but it's bigger than 4/3, and it's bigger than -1. So all we need to do is satisfy all of these. So we could do this by drawing a number line, or we can just reason this out. X can be greater than -1, okay? X is greater than 4/3. X cannot be less than 4/3. Wait. Okay, I just go and collect myself. So look at it. So remember, all these have to be true. This inequality says X is greater than -1. This says X must be greater than 4/3. So the problem there is that X can't be less than 4/3. So we can drop this one off. We can get rid of this one. We can toss that one. And so our correct answer is X is less than 5/2. That's going to be our high end. And then X has got to be greater than 4/3. So if we combine these two inequalities, we're going to get 5. I'll just borrow this. If we combine these, we'll get 5/2, sorry. I'm just going to copy that, paste. So we'll get this. We're going to get X must be, that's actually the bigger end. So let's go to the small end. On the small end, X has got to be bigger than 4/3. So we need a 4/3 here. Yeah, I still gave me the same thing. I'll just make this one a 4/3. So 4/3. Remember, X has got to be bigger than 4/3. So let's put that there. Wrong way. While at the same time, it's got to be less than 5/2. So let's go ahead and I'll just retype it. It's the simplest way to do it. 5/2. And so there's your answer. It's the intersection of the 3. Now, I've included this diagram to help you understand why if you didn't follow what we just did, that last part. Remember, the solution is the intersection of all three inequalities. X is less than 50, x is less than 5/2, x is greater than 4/3, and x is greater than -1. So look at it. Let's look at the number line and see that there's only one part where all three of them overlap. And that's right here between x is 4/3 and x and 5/2. So that's another way that you can figure out what the answer is if you graph all three and get the overlap.